Okay, so yesterday, what did we talk about? What were we missing yesterday? Angles. And today we are missing sides. Very good. It's on the top of the worksheet, right? So yesterday we used trig ratios to find our missing angles, but today we're going to use them to find our missing sides. So in a right triangle, if you have one angle, so this first blank is angle, if you have one angle besides the right angle, so it can't be the right angle, but if you have one angle, oh, we can't really see that blue. Let's go over it.
You can see?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. If you have one angle besides the right angle, so talking about like a reference angle, if we have a reference angle and one side, you can solve for any other side. Very good. You sure can. So if you have one angle, if we have a reference angle, and at least one of the sides, we can solve for any of the other ones.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
What if we don't?
You will.
On all of them?
Yes.
Forever?
Yes. If it's asking you to find a missing side, it's got to give you some information.
For sure.
All right. So can somebody remind me what our steps were yesterday? So what was the first thing we had to do with our triangles yesterday? Label them. Very good. And then we needed to do what after we labeled?
Figure out if it was sine, cosine, or tangent.
Very good. Figure out if it's sine, cosine, or tangent, which are our trig ratios, right? So which trig ratio to use. And then we had to do what?
Set up an equation.
Set up an equation. Very good. And then we had to
Solve
solve it. Those are the same steps that we used today.
it in the calculator.
Yep, those are the same steps that we used today. So number one, we label the triangle. Label the triangle. We're going to label it opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. Now remember, opposite and adjacent depend on where my reference angle's at, right? Okay. Then we identify what trig ratio to use. So sine, cosine, or tangent. Yeah, it's going to be one of those three. It's going to be used one of those three. And then we set up an equation, which is just writing it down. Setting up an equation is just us writing it down, right? We're going to set up an equation, and then we're going to solve. Very good. Yes, sir.
Can I ask Sawyer a question?
Is it a super fast one? Does it relate to this?
No, but I want to eat these blade out peanut butter.
Oh, he's fine.
Oh,
He just can't eat it.
oh.
Okay. He wants to eat peanut butter, but he was making sure it was okay. Yes, you can. He just can't eat it. Okay, so let's look at our first example.
I can't.
You can. No, it's his. All right. Okay, so step number one is to do what? Label. Okay, so I'm going to circle my reference angle. My reference angle is on that bottom right corner. It's 30 degrees. Where's my hypotenuse at? Across from the right angle. It's at that 186. Very good. That's my hypotenuse. My adjacent is located where? At X, at next to my reference angle. So this is my adjacent side. And then the other side is called the opposite.
He's so loud with his boy.
Poor baby. It's okay. We're going to get you there. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. God bless. All right. So, which two sides do I have? Which two sides do I have?
The hypotenuse and the adjacent.
Very good. The hypotenuse and adjacent. Which one uses hypotenuse and adjacent? Cosine, because it came around here, right? Came around here, cosine. Okay, so pay attention. This is where it differs from yesterday. We have cosine. And then remember, in our parentheses, we would put our reference angle. So we'd put A, or we'd put theta, or we'd put an X, right? But that's when we were missing that reference angle measure. And don't I have the measure today? Yeah, what's that measure? 30. So the 30 is what's going in my parentheses because now I actually know the measure of that angle. Equals All right, what is cosine's ratio?
It's, adjacent over hypotenuse.
Very good. Adjacent over hypotenuse, and so then how do I set that up?
X over 180.
Very good. X over 186. It's okay. All right. So my overall goal is to get x by itself because I've got to figure out what x is equal to, right? I need to actually figure out what that side measure is equal to. So right now, I have a fraction. Do you see that?
Yeah.
My ratio is really a fraction, so I've got a fraction. I need to get rid of the fraction. And the way to do that is to multiply by what's in the denominator. So what's in my denominator? Very good, 186. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 186. All right, on the left side of my equation, I'm going to bring it down. So I've got 186 times cosine of 30 equals 186 times the cosine of 30 equals, and then dividing by 186 and multiplying by 186 cancel each other out, right? Yeah, so what am I left with on the other side? Yeah, just an x. Very good. All right, so the question we want to ask ourselves when we get here, is x by itself? Yes, x is by itself. There's nothing being multiplied or divided to it, right? So when x is by itself, now I can use my calculator. When x is by itself, then you can use your calculator. So we're going to use our calculator to figure out the answer. In your calculator, the first thing we always got to double check is that it's already in degrees, which yours should be because we haven't changed it, right? Okay, so then you do 186, 186, and then what operation is happening to those two things? Are we adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? Multiplying. So you're going to hit multiply. Now we're using regular cosine, just regular cosine 30, and hit enter. What do you get? 161 point. Okay, 08, which is a 1. We're going to round to the 10th place today. Today we are rounding to the first decimal. Today we are rounding to the first decimal. We are practicing rounding to the first decimal because I think that's what Delta Math is going to ask you to do.
That's the only light doesn't help.
I know. Yes, sir. For this, I need to see just those 3 steps. You'll see in the next problem there's like 4, but I need to see at least those 3. You don't have to show me where you multiplied by 186 on both sides. You can just write down the next step. All right. Okay, so thumbs up if we're like, okay, I'm kind of feeling this. Thumbs in the middle if you're like, possibly. And then thumbs completely down if you have no idea what the heck even just happened, except for Big K, because poor baby. All right, cool. That's about where I expected. All right, let's do another example. Ready? Let's do another one. All right, we're looking at this one now. Okay, so first thing we need to do is, circle my reference angle and label the triangle. The side that's across from the right angle is called the hypotenuse. Adjacent means what? Next to. So it's next to my reference angle. So which one of those is next to my reference angle? Yeah. And then the other one is called the opposite. You okay? You're going to come sit back here with me in a minute, and we'll get... It's not bad, I promise. All right. Now, since we're done with step 1, since we labeled our triangle, what's step 2?
Identify what a trig ratio.
Yeah, identify my trig ratio. So what two sides am I using here?
Opposite and adjacent.
Yeah, opposite and adjacent, which means I'm using which one?
Tangent.
Tangent. So I've got tangent of my angle. Remember, I can actually put in that angle measure this time. So what is my angle measure?
23.
Very good. 23 equals, and what is tangent's ratio again?
Opposite over adjacent.
Opposite over adjacent. O over A. All right, so for this one, it's going to be 55 over X. 55 over X. All right, so we've set up our equation, and now we just need to, we need to solve. We're going to do some multiplying because we want to get rid of that fraction, right? I want to get rid of my ratio. So we are going to multiply by whatever's in the denominator. So what's in the denominator? X. Multiply both sides by X.
So you want to be 23x.
Mm-mm.
Well, you can't do that then.
Right. So you're going to bring it straight down. We're going to bring it straight down. So it's X tangent 23 equals. And then what am I left with on the other side? 55. Very good, 55. All right, so I get here and I ask myself, is X by itself? No. What's happening?
It's been blocked by the tangent 23.
Yeah, right? It's being blocked by that tangent 23. Otherwise, it would be by itself. So what is the operation that is happening? Are we multiplying, dividing, adding, or subtracting? Okay, just looking right here in that square. What operation is happening right there in that square? Multiplying, right? It is X times tangent of 23. So how do I get rid of multiplying? Division. So I'm going to divide both sides by tangent of 23. By tangent 23. So think of tangent 23, it's just a number. Think of it as like a 2. It's just a number because tangent of 23, when you put it in your calculator, actually is a number, right? What is it? Is it decimal? Yeah. And that's okay. It could be a decimal, but it is an actual number. Right? I am. What's up?
I can come back.
Okay, come back. All right. Give me like 10, 15 minutes and then come back. Okay? All right. So, on the left side, these cancel. And we're left with X. And then on the right side, we just bring it straight down. So it's 55 divided by tangent 23. 55 divided by tangent 23. Is X by itself? Yes. Why do you say no? Why do you say no? Why? Is X on its own side of the equal sign is really what I mean. Yeah. So when I say like is X by itself, I mean is it on its own side of the equal sign? Sorry, I should ask that a better way. Okay, so is it on its own side of the equal sign?
Yeah.
Yes. So can I use my calculator now? Yes. So in your calculator, you do 55, and then what operation are we doing here? No. Operation, multiplying, adding, dividing, subtracting. Dividing. So you need to put 55 divided tangent of 23.
129.46. I said that, but
Big K, did you say you got an error? Malik, will you look at his calculator?
yes.
No, sweetly. Be kind to him. Be kind. All right, after we've done another example, let's vote. Thumbs up. I've got this. thumbs in the middle, I'm still getting there. We're still getting there. And then thumbs down, just like no idea. Okay. All right. Cool deal. All right, so let's look at another example together. So we're going to go down to our examples. We're going to go down to number 1. All right. So the very first step is always to do what? Label. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to circle my reference angle. That's that 44 in the top left corner. The hypotenuse is always located where? Uh-huh. It's across from that right angle, and it's that 18. Okay. Adjacent means what? Next to. So it's going to be next to my reference angle, which is the one that doesn't have anything, right? Very good. And then that leaves the other one to be the opposite. Okay? Uh-huh. Why do you know that?
Because it's some old head.
Yeah, because it's some old tag. Right? So we've got opposite and hypotenuse. So we use sine. So sine of 44 equals, yeah, x over 18. Because it's O over H, right? So you got to do x over 18. That color is so difficult to see, I feel like. Okay, so that's my equation. All right, so first thing I got to do. I'm trying to get rid of the fraction. So to get rid of the fraction, I got to multiply by what's in the denominator. What does it mean to be the denominator? The bottom of the fraction, right? The bottom of the fraction. So I multiply by what's in the bottom. What's in the bottom? 18. So we're going to multiply both sides by 18. So I got 18 sine of 44 equals, and then what's on my other side? Very good, just x. Okay. Is x the only thing on its side of the equal sign? Yes. So if your answer to that question is yes, now we can use our calculators. All right? So in my calculator, it's 18. And then what operation? No, that's the ratio. The operation is multiplication or division. Multiplication. And then sine 44. So 18 times sine of 44. All right, so in our calculators, we did 18 times sine of 44, and what's the answer? Then you put it in the calculator wrong. 18 times regular sine 44, enter. Yeah, but you're gonna have to give me a second. Yes, sir. All right, so 12.5. All right, let's look at one more together. Example number 2. One more. We're getting you assigned seeds tomorrow, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited doing assigned seeds. I'll pray about it. Do you want to sit by me?
You can't share no answer though.
Can't share no answers?
Can't share no X.
Oh, okay. Regular sign. All right, so let's look at number 2. First things first, I need to do what? Label. So I circle my reference angle so I know where we're looking at. Very good. The hypotenuse is my x. No. No, you're not. The adjacent is 30 because adjacent means next to, like beside. Because it's next to that angle that we circled. And so that one's my opposite. So, Kalari, which one uses adjacent and hypotenuse? You can look up there. This way. Which one uses A and H? Cosine. Very good. So cosine of 58 equals, so how would I set this up? 30
Over A.
Very good. 30 over x. So all I did was use my trig ratio and I substituted in the values that I knew. Okay, so right here, I'm trying to get rid of that fraction, right? So I need to multiply by what's in the bottom. So what's in the bottom of this fraction?
So
X times x on both sides times x on both sides.
It's cancel out.
The x's cancel on this side, so I'm just left with 30 on that side, and then I bring everything else down on this one. All right, so Mike, is x the only thing on its side of the equal sign? No. All right, so what do I need to do?
You divide by cosine over 58 on each side.
Very good, divide by cosine 58 on each side. Okay, so on this side they cancel, and I'm just left with a and then I bring it down on the other side. So 30 divided by cosine 58.
X equals 56 plus 6.
Very good.
I mean, 56.6.
So is x the only thing on its side of the equal sign now? Yes. So can I use my calculator? Yes. So I do 30. What operation? Divide cosine 58.
56.6, 1, 2, 3, 9, 10, 4, 4.
Very good. All right, let's rank on our fingers. 1, easy peasy lemon squeezy. 5, difficult, difficult, lemon difficult. 1, easy peasy lemon squeezy. 5, difficult, difficult, lemon difficult. Okay.
I get it now.
All right, so my friends who are at a 1 or 2, I want you to keep working with your table. You're going to keep working with your table to finish the back page. You have to finish the back page. My friends who are at a 3 or higher, I want you to bring your paper and a calculator and a pencil and come sit back here with me, and we're going to go through them one more time together, okay? We're going to go through it again. It's going to be great, I promise. All right, so for my virtual friends, you do need to finish this worksheet for extra practice, but your checkpoint that you need to turn in is just numbers 5, 6, 7, and 8.